What's a feeling better than an orgasm? When sleep finally comes and sweetly releases you from a blinding, vomit-inducing migraine. My god. The relief of a blinding migraine subsiding is truly one of the most relaxing and peaceful feelings. Been on scripts for migraines, and the moment you feel the meds kick in and the pressure starts to go away, it's like falling into a pool of silk and lotion. Being relieved of serious pain. Apparently I have sciatica. I've barely slept in 2 days and my left leg is in a constant state of cramp/numbness. Can't wait for this S to go. Didn't set in after squats/deadlifting or moving something heavy right. Sciatica can be more than nerve compression in the hip. I've got bilateral stenosis in my L5S1 vertebrae and it often feels just like sciatica when it's flaring up. A result of not knowing how to deadlift. I did help my father-in-law move a few logs the other day, but it didn't hurt at the time. Seems a likely suspect though. If you have chronic issues longer than a week, an MRI is the most common way to investigate if it's JS. It's about a 15-minute visit that does not require contrast. When you overhear people talking positively about you, wait, is that something people do? I had to take off a little over a week of work last year and we had a staff meeting. After I came back, one person broke and told me how glad they were to have me back because I help other staff members all the time and having me gone so long was horrible. Others chipped in and agreed, like at least 5 people, in front of our manager and upper management. One of the best moments in all my time working. Felt so good, man. And all of the management heard that seriously reminded me that I do kind of like my job sometimes. People need to be appreciated for what they do more. It helps a lot when you know that people are glad you're around and know you do in fact contribute, especially in work environments where you have to work as a team. I really hope that led to you getting a raise. He was fired a week later on a technicality, fueled by jealousy. I think about better in terms of a huge increase in pleasure, and I can only think of one thing that has ever happened to me that was equal or better. Around 10 years ago, I had a kidney stone, and it hurt like hell. The nurse hooked up the 4th and gave me morphine, which did quite literally nothing at all to help. They didn't seem to believe that at first. I'm sure drug seeking at the ER is a thing, but eventually, it became pretty clear that I was still in agony. She hit the 4th with Toradol. Y'all. This was the first time I'd ever experienced an 4th or any strong painkiller, and I went from the worst pain of my life to complete comfort, warmth, and relaxation in seconds. I can still remember the relief. I once had a migraine for 2 years. Toradol is the reason I'm still alive. OMG, I feel so awful for you. Migraines are the worst. I can't imagine a migraine lasting longer than a day, let alone 2 years. All of my migraines last at least 3 days, and I can't move, eat, sleep or breathe in some cases. 2 years would be deadly. Got lost out in the wilderness a few years back. Drinking fresh clean water for the first time in days was something out of this world. It's like being on the brink of death and suddenly life fills your body again. It happened so quick as well. From death's door to fully recovered in minutes. Where were you? And how did you get so lost? How did you survive? I'm curious because I love camping and hiking, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna end up as a news story if I go alone, lol. One really good way to avoid being a local headline is to give your itinerary to 1 or 2 people you trust before you go. Explain where you're going and when you expect to be done, and that you'll call on the day you should finish. If you don't contact them, or they can't contact you in a reasonable amount of time, instruct them to call for a search and rescue and give you the copy of your itinerary. This drastically increases the odds of you being found, and being found quickly, should you actually get lost. As for survival, don't spend too much time trying to get yourself unlost, as this can very easily make it worse. Stop, think, observe, and plan in that order to ensure that you don't end up more lost than you are. Generally, especially if you're pretty far from any well-traveled and busy trails, the best course of action is to sit tight and wait for rescue, which should come in not too long if you and your person did the above. Conserve your energy and focus on making yourself visible / findable. If you're near a water source that you can reliably purify, even better, since water will be your most important resource. When we went wilderness hiking in the Yosemite, we had to fill out a form with our itinerary, expected return, color of tent and jackets etc etc, and instruct some family member or friend how to act should we not return on time. That moment near the end of being sick where your nose suddenly clears out after being stuffy for days and you can breathe perfectly again. See also, pulling a huge booger out of your nose and realizing that your breathing has been restricted for days. I once had a sinus infection so bad I coughed up a 1-inch solid rock of phlegm that had been living in my upper sinus cavity. The feeling after was amazing. I can't do coke anymore because it gives me a hectic upper respiratory infection and sinus infection. I'm talking a nose dripping like a tap for days, but somehow also a 100% blocked nasal airway, to the point where swallowing creates a vacuum suction effect. I will also be sneezing for weeks. The feeling when that lump of phlegm and gunk suddenly dislodges and I hack it out is effing heavenly. It's almost worth the days to weeks of misery leading up to it, but not quite. People appreciating your hard work. Damn this hits hard. Unfortunately it doesn't happen enough. A good song that just makes you have goosebumps. Does music make anyone else cry sometimes? Like listening and singing along with tears in your eyes? Happens to me all the time. Peeing after you've been holding it a long time. Bonus points when you get the shivers. Until you shiver a little too much and now you have pee everywhere. Why is the floor wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot. Wake up in a rainy morning Sunday and you don't have to work. No, then you have anxiety that you have to work on Monday. The Sunday scaries is what I call that feeling. Used to get those all the time, haha. Now I just surrender to the fact that Monday's coming no matter what. Laughing so hard your face hurts. It's like an orgasm for your heart and soul. That feeling when the joke is long gone and you're only laughing because your friend is laughing and they are only laughing because you are laughing and it won't stop. That happened the first time my friends and I did peyote, except for the joke. Nobody ever told a joke. We just couldn't stop laughing. When you've been in a slump and you notice your goals are coming along, feels great. When someone new has a crush on you. This was literally what happened with my high school girlfriend. I doubt I ever would have let her go, but she let me go. Whenever we see each other our connection still exists, but she lives in another state and is now engaged. I don't contact her. Since last time we saw each other we had drinks and made out when she was with her current fiance. She felt bad about it and I don't want to cause any more drama. I have always been looking to find a similar connection to that again, but it seems almost impossible. We would just stare at each other walking through the hallways in high school until I got a friend to get me her number. Nothing's ever going to compare to first love. That first 3 months of firsts of everything will always be a beautiful dream. Nothing else will compare to those butterflies. I've had many more experiences and gotten married. The later feelings are more of a mature connection. But nothing brings non-stop butterflies like the first time. Was given a chance to reunite a few years before meeting my spouse. Went on a date. Then remembered why we broke up. Nope, not happening. Good memory should stay as that. Finally drinking water after being thirsty as F. Peeing after holding it for hours. Eating after feeling hungry for too long. Your head finally hitting your pillow and finding the comfort of your bed to sleep after being so exhausted that your body is going to shut down. When a migraine finally goes away. Edit. Woke up to this comment getting so much attention. Thank you for the awards 3. When a migraine finally goes away. This is it. This is the answer. When I have migraine and can feel it melt away after laying still for hours straight. It's the single best feeling. When you take a gigantic dump and you feel your insides shift. When I had a herniated disc and sciatica as a result. I spent a couple months on opioids and, predictably, I got constipated. First time I ever dealt with constipation in my life, at least for more than a day. I didn't for over a week near the end of it, and I was in absolute agony. I had a constant, immediate urge to stomach cramps, the works. Tried laxatives, stool softeners, coffee, everything. When it finally happened, I thought I might have a heart attack during the process. Clothes came off. Super sweaty. Seeing colors as I strained to just get that very first rock hard plug out. Man, when it did come out, it truly was orgasmic. My eyes rolled back as it poured out of my body, mouth agape, pure bliss. It ended up being so much that I filled the toilet. For the first time in my life. Truly one of my finest moments. Yeah, it was absolutely orgasmic. Afterwards, I got into bed and slept so soundly that I remember that moment of drifting to unconsciousness years later. Why did I tear up reading this? I'm guessing your words touched my soul, and for a blessedly brief moment in time, I could see things through another's eyes. TBH, I think he tore up too.